Good morning, everybody. It is Arrows Gaming here, and we are bringing you our updated Scions of the 7th Dawn deck profile. I'm really excited to share this with you guys. If you guys tuned into the stream last night, you know that we were going to be playing a lot more Final Fantasy TCG IRL. So we ordered some stuff to fix up this, and now we're just gonna show it to you. So let's just get into the deck profile. Let's do this. Alrighty, so here we go. The first ever Final Fantasy TCG deck profile we've done on this channel. I'm really excited for this, you guys. So let's just hop into it. We're gonna go forwards, backwards, and then summons for this one. So here we go. So we're gonna start off with the forwards. We have 1, 2, 3 copies of the Oracle of Light. This card is such a nice improvement for this deck. She came in the Shadowbringer's 2-player starter deck. She's a 3-drop light, and she says the job Scion of the 7th Dawn forwards I control gain plus 2,000. When she's put in the field into the break zone, I can remove her from game instead and choose one Scion of the 7th Dawn and put it onto my field doll. So she can recover backup. She can recover forwards. Really, really good card. Then we have 1, 2, 3 Ida. This is arguably one of the best cards in the deck. She gets plus 2,000 for each other Scion of the 7th Dawn job on the field, and when she attacks, I can choose a doll forward and deal it damage equal to half of Ida's rounded down. So half of Ida's attack rounded down. So if I have 5 job Scion of the 7th Dawns, she is 12,000, and then when I attack something, I can deal damage to a doll forward down to 6,000, which is fantastic. Really good at taking out cards I've already attacked. This is another one of the new additions. We have 3 of the Shadowbringer's starter deck Yashalas. The Shadowbringer's 2-player starter deck, sorry. She cannot be targeted by summons, and when I play her on the field, I can choose one forward in my discard pile, in my break zone, sorry. If its cost is equal to or less than the number of Scions of the 7th Dawn I have on the field, I can play it onto the field. And as you'll see, it's really not hard to have a decent amount of Scions to recycle stuff. 1, 2, 3 Papa Limo. Now this card's always confused me a little bit. It's an EX card, so if it goes to my damage zone, I can activate its effect to search for a Yida and add it to my hand. And also, when Yida does her damage, instead of rounding down to 1,000, Papa Limo will round down to the 2,000, which is really cool. And rounding out the Earth backups, we have 2 copies of the Crystal Exarch. This is also available in the Shadowbringer's 2-player starter deck. Its ability is at the beginning of the attack phase during either player's turn, I can give one forward on the field plus 2,000, and until the end of turn. And then when my damage is at 5, I can activate this effect. When the Crystal Exarch attacks, choose one forward. If its power is equal to or less than the Exarch, if its power is less than the Exarch, I break it. So that's the Earth backups, and now we're gonna this is an Earth Lightning deck, so we're gonna get into the Earth forwards. But this is an Earth Lightning deck, so we're gonna get into the Earth forwards now. So we're running 3 copies of the new Eriellenje, Eriellenje from the Shadowbringer's 2-player deck. This, in my opinion, is much better than the Opus 5 one that let you bring out monsters based on Scions on the field. When Eriellenje enters the field, he's also an EX ability too, so you'll be able to use this if he goes into your damage. Reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, add 1 category 14 character among them to your hand, return the others to the bottom of your deck in any order. And he's also a 2-drop like the original, and he's a 5,000 body, which is still pretty good. 3 copies of the Opus 7 common Fancred. Now, admittedly, these are going to turn into the legendary Fancreds from Opus 11, I believe. But this one's still pretty good in itself. When Fancred enters the field, choose one forward your opponent controls and dull it. That actually really works out with Ida, who does damage to dull forwards. When Fancred enters the field until the end of the turn, if the CP used to play Fancred was only produced by Category 14 backups, he gains an additional 2,000 haste and first strike. So he's a nice little placeholder. So 3 copies of the Shadowbringer's 2-player starter Fancred. His ability is really cool. When a job Scion of the 7th done other than Fancred enters the field, until the end of turn, Fancred gains 2,000 power, haste, and brave. And then Blasting Zone, I can discard a copy of Fancred and tap him, choose one forward, and deal it damage equal to Fancred's power. So really good stuff. We have 3 Ilias and 1 Roche. Now, these 2 Ilias are going to be Roches. I just need to find some, get around and ordering some. So Ilias is a 3-drop that has haste, and during each turn when Ilias is chosen by an opponent's summon or ability for the first time in that turn, I can cancel the effect. And then her ability is Shield. I can discard a copy of herself, activate all forwards you control. They gain haste until the end of the turn. All forwards your opponent controls lose 2,000 power to the end of turn. So she's really good, but she's ultimately going to be replaced by Roche. He has haste, and if I don't control any characters, I can play him for free, which is really good. And he has a damage 3 where he gains plus 3,000. So if I open up with him, I can play him for free before I do anything else. And he has haste, so I can play him and get a swing in right before my opponent gets to do anything, which is really cool. And then rounding out the lightning backups, we have 2 copies of Rama, Lord of Levin. If I have 2 or more lightning summons in my break zone, Rama, Lord of Levin gains haste. When Rama, Lord of Levin, or my lightning summons deal damage to a forward, break it. So that's really cool because we are running Ramos in here. So those are the forwards, and then we're going to get into the backups. So we have 1, 2, 3 copies of Menpheia EX. This is arguably the best backup in this deck. Get at me, prove me wrong. Her ability, so her EX ability is the same. So if she goes to your damage or you play her on the field, you can search your deck for a job Scion of the 7th Dawn character and add it to your hand, which is really, really good. She has another ability. I can pay an earth and tap her, break her, choose one forward my opponent controls and break it. And we can only use this ability if we control 5 or more job Scion of the 7th Dawn, which, as you can see, almost everything in here is a Scion of the 7th Dawn. So it's really easy to pull that off. Getting into the more job Scion of the 7th Dawns, we have... Oh. Really? I'm only running 2 Cryals. That can't be right. Hold on, chat. Yeah, that's right. I'm only running 2 copies of Cryal. Yeah, okay. Well, we'll have to fix that and put in a 3rd. Yeah. So we're running 2 copies of Cryal. I do need to put a 3rd one in here. I don't know why there's not 3 in here, but whatever. I must have accidentally taken one out last night. So she is a 2-drop. She's a Scion of the 7th Dawn, so she feeds all of our abilities. For 1 lightning, 1 anything, and tapping her, I can choose 1 forward I control. During this turn, it can not be returned to the owner's hand by summons or abilities. And then rounding out our Earth backups, we're playing 1 copy of Class 10 Moogle and 1 Minor. Eventually, I want these to both be Class 10 Moogles, but they were out when I was ordering my stuff. Class 10 Moogle, if it's on the field, it also produces Lightning CP, which is good stuff. And the Minor, when Minor enters the field, choose 1 backup in your break zone, add it to your hand. And then I can pay 1 Earth, 1 anything, and tap Minor. I can put Minor in the break zone, choose 1 forward in my break zone, and add it to my hand. And then into our lightning backups, we play 3 copies of Elfinode. Again, he's another name, but he does have an ability. For 1 lightning and tapping him, I can choose 1 active forward, deal 1,000 damage. If I control a job Scion of the 7th Dawn forward, deal it 2,000 instead. And then we have 3 copies of Alize. Alize, also, who in Final Fantasy 14 it has become one of my favorite characters. If I control a card named Alpha Node, I can reduce her cost by 1. And the Job Scions of the 7th Dawn forwards I control gain haste. This is amazing because it means whenever we play a Job Scion of the 7th Dawn forward, we can attack with it. And as you saw, the vast majority of our forwards are Job Scion of the 7th Dawn. And we are ending off the backups with 1 copy of Louisoix. Louisoix, when you play him onto the field, you can search for Alize or Alpha Node and add them to your hand. So, really good card. We can get it out and we can do some cool stuff with it. Now, we are playing some summons. We can cut these down a little bit, I think, or update them a little bit, and we will as we progress. If you guys have any suggestions, let me know in the comments for the summons. We are running 2 copies of the Opus 6 Titan. He's an EX, so when I take damage with him, his effect will activate as well. Choose 1 forward you control and 1 forward your opponent controls. The former gains plus 2,000, and then you can have them fight. And sorry, the former deals damage to the latter. So say I have Ida, and you have something else, and Ida is like, we'll say 12,000 for this. I play this, give Ida an additional 2,000, and Ida deals damage to one of your forwards that I choose, and then they die. I really like Titan, and he's an EX burst, which is also really nice. 2 copies of the Opus 4 Hecatonier. Choose 1 forward you control and 1 forward opponent controls. Each forward deals damage equal to its power to the other. So again, another way of getting stuff off the field. And then into our lightning summons, we are playing 2 copies of the Opus 6 Rama. Now keep in mind, with the Lord of Levin, when I use one of these abilities, it will break something too. Choose 1, you can activate 2 of the following 4 effects. Choose 1 monster card of 2 or less and break it. Choose 1 forward, cost of 4 or less and dull it. Choose 1 active forward, deal it 7,000 damage, which if I have the Lord of Levin on the field, it will just destroy it. It will break it. Choose 1 lightning forward, it gains haste until the end of turn. That one's not as applicable because with Alize out, all of my Scions of the 7th Dawn lightning forwards are going to gain haste anyway. So, and if I have summons in the field, in the back, in the discard, then Lord 11 will gain haste anyway as well. 1 of the Opus 7 Rama EXs. I really like this card. Choose 1 forward, deal it 7,000 damage, and if it's sent to my damage zone by from the deck, then its EX burst will let me do 8,000 instead. And rounding it off, we are playing 1 of the Odin EX, the 7-drop. Choose 1 forward and break it. So it's an EX burst, so if we take it as damage, we will break a forward. So, good stuff. Good stuff. So, there it is, guys. My first ever Final Fantasy deck profile on the channel. I really like this deck. I've been playing Scions of the 7th Dawn since I got into Final Fantasy 14, I think is... since I got into Final Fantasy TCG. Honestly, it's probably one of my favorite decks to play. So, yeah. I really like it. We initially played a monster-based variant using the starter deck Eriellenje and other Yashalas, but I really like this board. I really like this deck. Obviously, I want to get 3 copies of the legendary Fancred, the lightning water one. I think that'll definitely help out here a lot. And yeah, it's going to be good. I'm really excited to start playing this in tournaments. And we will be recording, or hopefully we'll be recording a game with it this Saturday. So stay tuned to the channel for that as well. So there you have it, guys. My Final Fantasy TCG Scions of the 7th Dawn updated deck profile. If you guys like that and you want to see more Final Fantasy TCG content, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ding the notification bell so you can get all of your Final Fantasy TCG, Final Fantasy 14, Dungeons & Mrs. Arrows, Arrows Plays, Arrows Returns to Yu-Gi-Oh!, all of your Arrows content on YouTube. And as always, guys, I will see you when I see you.